come repot my snake plants with me. I recently posted a video about propagating snake plants from cuttings, whether they are from a plant you already have or were given or found. It has been almost a full year to get these propagations to the point they're at, but now I'm ready to put them in a pot. So I did an experiment using different mediums for propagation of snake plant. We used soil, perlite, sphagnum moss, water. I also did trileca, and that did grow roots, but it was really hard to keep wet. So I transferred that one already in there. But now all of these have grown pups. So this is the original leaf, this is the pup, this is a pup. We've got 2 leaves in here, there's another pup growing. These ones in water. I don't know if you can see that, they've got pups. In the perlite, we had 2 leaves and it's created 3 pups. And in the sphagnum moss as well, there are pups in there. So my experiment was a success. Pretty much every medium I tried did wind up growing propagations. The soil seemed to grow the largest pups so far, but perlite grew the roots fastest, and as you can see, there's 3 pups. Again, same with that. So all in all, I don't recommend one medium over the other. It's really what works best for you. Perlite and sphagnum moss, you have to keep an eye on it so that it doesn't dry out. With water, the danger is always that rot could set in, so you have to keep an eye on that. The soil's tough because you can't necessarily see what's happening, and that can be kind of frustrating. So it's really up to you which medium suits you best. So I've picked up this ceramic planter for, I think, $5 from the Target dollar spot. It has a drainage hole, which at the moment is plugged up, which is kind of nice. So you can use this as either a cache pot or plant directly in. I'm going to plant directly in, but I'm going to keep the plug in while I'm putting the soil in, just so it doesn't spill out. But once the plants are in there, especially when you're watering, make sure that that plug is taken out. I've got some decent cactus mix here. You can see cactus mix is a mix of soil, a little bit of organic material, but it also is usually filled in with sand, perlite, lava rock, which just really help with drainage for plants that don't like to be sitting in too much moisture. You see it retains a little bit of moisture, but it's pretty loose, and root rot hopefully won't set in, because they are for plants that prefer it a little bit more dry. Always tough doing this one-handed. I'm gonna add this to my pot. I've got that about halfway filled up, looking pretty good. I have heard some people, when propagating snake plants, sometimes they cut the pup off of the leaf, and the leaf will continue to create new pups. So like, as you can see, this leaf is so tiny and it produced that pup, and I think the bigger leaf produced these 2 pups. So in theory, these leaves can continue to create multiple pups. I think we'll see in some other cases here multiple pups coming out. So here's a perfect example. This is the one that was in water. That has 3 pups coming out of it. So it is possible, if you're really happy with continuing these propagations, that you can just snip off the pup and not plant this leaf if you don't want to. For aesthetic purposes, I totally get it. I'm just going to take this out of here, see how we're looking, see what we're dealing with. Okay, so let's see. See, it's created a nice little root system here. So look where that root has come out, grown around, and come right back up into this lovely pup. So I'm just gonna keep the whole leaf in. Why not? And I think I'll be able to fit a few into this. So next we'll finally get rid of this lovely fig container. Let's see what we're dealing with here with the perlite. I'm gonna just put this in here so I don't spill. Ooh. You can see these roots, because they're in the perlite, they haven't dried out as much as the other one, but this is pretty interesting. So here's this little tiny guy, this teeny tiny leaf created that pup. Look at that. One leaf has created these two pups. Pretty cool. So I thought this would be actually kind of interesting. Let's take a look at them. Here's our water propagation. Here's the perlite. One leaf got these two pups. The small leaf got the little small pup. Here's our soil and the sphagnum moss. This one's got roots but no pup yet, so I won't plant that up just yet, but I think that's pretty interesting as far as propagation goes. I wanted to show you this as well. This is this teeny tiny leaf. So even if you were able to snip a tiny piece of a snake plant, you could get not one, but do you see that? 2 new plants out of it. So cool. Okay, let's plant up these little snakies. I'm not too worried about these. These just are not that fragile. Now, what do you think? Keep the leaf? The shape is super funky. If we do that, that's not looking good. You know what I might do? I might give this one the chop. So now I might stick that back in the perlite, get some more plants out of it, and plant these into the pot. Because this hasn't calloused over, I'm just gonna put it in, and I'm not going to water this yet. I'm gonna leave it a few days. That's probably gonna be enough in this pot, I think. I don't wanna overfill it. I wanna give these guys a good chance. Finally using this trusty tool. That is fantastic. Sometimes I am lucky enough to be sent items by people, which I would have never thought about buying, but I am so glad that I have now and recommend it. So one is this handy air blower. These really cool snippers. They're great. Just want to make sure the roots are fully covered. Everything is spread out. This seems a little bit too close to that one. I'm gonna move it back. All right, what do we think? Is it looking good? I mean, there's a ton in here. They're eventually gonna grow out of this pot, but that's what being a plant parent is all about, isn't it? Your things grow, you enjoy them, they don't last forever. You enjoy them while they are, and then eventually you either size up or trim it back, and that is the beauty of it. That's the thing with gardening. You can't, there's no just set it and forget it. You always have some maintenance. That's maybe part of the Zen thing about it. It's all about seasons. Okay, so this is good. Here's our snake plant, grown from just little leaf cuttings. Like I said, I'm not gonna water it straight away. It doesn't need a ton of light. I'm not gonna put this in direct light. It hasn't had any direct light. It could easily get sunburned if I was to suddenly do that. It's not to say it can't get direct light. You just have to ease it into it. I'm gonna actually probably wait about 2 weeks before I water this. I'm just gonna keep an eye on it because the roots all looked pretty good and they can withstand low watering. So there we have it. I've got my propagated snake plant and it now looks like something that you could possibly have bought from the store. If you want more propagation tips and tricks, how to make your plants go farther for little to no money, free in this case, be sure and subscribe and check out my other social channels. Thanks for watching.